Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Enter the Gungeon. We're gonna do Daisuke. See ya! Making that leap of faith is like... it's indicative of how the run's gonna go. I know! Okay, I know. I know. But this son of a gun... this dancing jester of misfortune and pain... currently has captivated my mind's eye. And my mind's nose, my mind's mouth, my mind's sweeper. Basically what I'm getting at is I feel like I need to get, if we're gonna, don't blow up my dog. That's how Jonathan Wick got his start. We need to beat Daisuke. We did a few runs the other day that were, you know, punch-out style runs. I had a great time, except on the last one. I was a big old dummy and screwed myself up a little bit, but all the other ones were extremely good, I thought. I had a wonderful experience. On this one, you know, we've used that goodwill to put us back in Daisuke's good graces. Sorry. I might sound a little, it depends, you know, depending on who you ask, you get 10 different results. You sound tired, you sound sad, you sound, you know, blah, you sound blah. You sound like you just saved 15% on your car insurance, you know? I slept like, not garbage, but like, one of those weird sleeps. By the way, can we just get an easy clap for all rooms where we have something like pot shots and basically never have to deal with it? Fantastic luck for us. I was in bed at like 1, watching a little Netflix. 1 is, you know, around the right time for me to go to sleep. I get it. I make my own hours and I work from home. 1:30, could not keep my eyes open. Just dead to the world. And I felt, oh, hold on, we have pot shots? I felt great about it. As I was falling asleep and drifting off to dreamland, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna sleep like a freaking baby. Then, woke up at 2:30 after an hour of sleep. Took me another 2 hours to get back to sleep. It's just, the human body is, it's an interesting beast, you know? I'm not too frustrated by, I mean, if you watch the series for any length of time, you know I went through a period like, oop, can't kill that guy. Like a month ago, well, 3 weeks ago when we came back from Japan, I was super tired, super jet lagged, and just like, I wouldn't say in a bad spot, but like, you know, sleep-wise, my sleep habits were not working out too well for me. One night of bad sleep, it happens. It wasn't even that bad. It's just weird. It just feels so preventable. But that's, I might sound a little low energy. I also have to go to bat. You know, the thing is, people sometimes, they assume things based on your vocal tone. I always think about, like, Ben Stein. You know, Ben Stein is a affable game show host and, you know, Visine or Clear Eyes spokesman, and also, like, formerly Richard Nixon's, like, economic advisor. Yeah, it was a different time, okay? And Ben Stein famously sounds like this. He's, for dry eyes, use clear eyes. You know, he's got a really low, monotone voice. And I'm just here to tell you, I'm always gonna go out to bat for my... You find a casing? Thank you. I'm always here to go to bat for my low voice, perhaps even monotone companions. I try to be excited. You know, I try to add flavor to my voice and color to my voice whenever possible in order to get the point of what I'm trying to say across as effectively as possible. But at the end of the day, having a deep voice, people have a bias. Don't tell me you shot the water barrel. I'm not saying it's a negative bias, because I get a lot of credit for my voice that I don't deserve, because I didn't create it. I just happen to benefit from it. I think we should gun force this one. Let's try at least. Well, yeah, let's do it. And pot shots, that's just the worst, dude. And yep, there we go. That's fine. At least we know. Now we don't have to sweat it as much. It's like fighting a 4th floor boss with the crossbow. How many pots are there? Anyway, people just innately assume, you know, that you're less excited about something. You know, they assume you're sad when your voice is deep, and you just gotta be like, it's a hormonal thing, buddy. It's called testosterone. Look it up. I've had hair on my shoulders since I was 16 years old, you know, like... I'm not trying to sound like I'm not excited. It's the same thing. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, I'll admit I can be a little bit, cynical's not the right word, but in my, you know, adulthood, I've become very particular about things I like, things I don't like. I stop pretending I like things I don't like, etc., etc. Anytime you're out at a, you know, party, bar, restaurant, and there's loud, bassy music, I understand, okay? If you got a voice that's, you know, average depth, maybe even a little bit higher than average, you don't understand, but you have the dream scenario in that situation. Hold on, we didn't get another key, so we could probably open both chests if we get 2 keys, but we didn't get 2 keys, so we'll get one of these, heal up, and move on. If you have a high voice, just due to the way that sound works, it will carry better in an environment that has loud music. I opened both, by the way. It just totally worked out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say smart because I just wasn't paying attention, but I didn't sleep well last night. So we're gonna go to the oubliette regardless, of course. Thought it was worth a shot. If you have a deep voice, you literally have to get like a megaphone, because every song released from about 1998 until now cranks up the low frequency part of the music spectrum to like 15,000 times louder. So sometimes we'll go to these places and people will be like, you know, you're being quiet, and I'm like, that's because I talk all day. And in order to make a joke here, I gotta, you know, stress out my vocal cords to the point where, like, it's physically painful the next day. Anyway. Regardless, I'm not trying to be super negative. I'm just saying, I'm on edge because somebody on the subreddit yesterday, and this is not necessarily toxic, it's just emblematic of kind of like the oh my god. The parasocial relationship you live with when you're a content creator. And you might be watching this video right now, so I apologize for bringing it up, but they were like, I've been watching NL for 7 or 8 years, since I was 12 or 13 years old. Just to give you some perspective on their age, still very young. You're welcome. I mean, they're not as old as I am. Don't know if you know this, but I'm 30. And they were like, NL's commenters seem really mean to him. Is this just like compounding years and years of inside jokes? Or like, you know, do they actually not like the guy, blah, blah, blah. By the way, he sounds clinically depressed in his videos. And I was like, okay, there it is. It's the exact same psychology. Is the people who are like diehard viewers of the content, particularly for stuff like Spire, but, you know, also Isaac, I think to a lesser extent Gungeon, for the most part, but they love watching the content. They watch every episode, and you know, they're like super fans, and that rules. However, they no, okay, I'll take a curse. That's fine. They also, oh no, as a result of watching so much of your, don't take a second curse. Okay, thank you, dude. This sucks. Dude, I hate Daisuke. I think it's actually bad and garbage, and I hate it. Let's do it again. Yeah, of course. What do you think I am, a coward? Anyway, they think that they know you on a personal level, and it's hard to explain. And I bring it up not because I'm upset, because I've tried to make this clear in the thread yesterday when I replied. I don't highlight this stuff to be like, someone was mean to me. Now, like, 20 people being nice to me in order to make me feel better. I highlight it because I genuinely think that people who do that are not, they don't realize that, you know, with me having never actually spoken to you as a human being in my entire life, to just basically come up to a stranger and be like, hey, I love your content. I've been watching it for a decade. Have you ever considered seeing somebody? It seems like you have, like, clinical depression. It's, like, insulting. It's not to say that, you know, you should, if there's anything to be ashamed of if you have clinical depression. But I don't have clinical depression. I just have a deep voice. And sometimes this freaking Daisuke challenge, it gets me down. It's hard to be. That's why you end up with these YouTubers who are like, "Oi, laddies! I'm so excited!" You know, the faking screams in the 3000th Outlast video. You know, you gotta cut a break. Some you gotta recognize as a parasocial relationship. Okay, hold on. It's hammer time. That's also real bad. But we are living. It shouldn't make it that much harder. We do need to pay much closer attention. Basically for this exact situation right here. I was just gonna say, like, literally there. I mean, we'll probably have to make a dodge along those lines at some point later. But, like, we have to leave ourselves space to dodge in the direction, yep, that the hammer allows. Dude, this is... I'm starting to get a little Daisuke fatigue. I'm gonna keep trying for now. Yeah, go ahead. But I don't know. I feel like this kind of sucks pretty bad. I will say I could make it easier on myself. You know, obviously, if we just wanted to beat it, we could probably just play as one of the easier characters. I'm not necessarily against that at this point. I think, you know, I would have been against it had I not seen that, like... I mean, here's the problem for me, and you're like, oh, here comes the classic YouTuber whine. The problem for me is honestly just that the randomness takes away from what I consider to be, like, a pretty cool and, like, well-designed game from a difficulty standpoint. Just because some of the challenges are basically, you know, extremely simple. And some of the challenges... I wouldn't say they make a flawless impossible, but they make it hard enough that, I mean, functionally, what's the difference? But, top of the morning to you late. I don't mean to, take shots at Jacksepticeye, who, from all accounts, everything I've heard about him, is that he's a very, very good individual. And that's not just lip service. There's some, you know, content creators out there that I've not met personally, but, you know, through the grapevine, I've heard not so encouraging things about. That's a guy who, whenever he seems to get brought up in conversation, people are like, he's like a good dude, like better than you. And I'm like, well, it's not surprising, honestly. But, you know, it's just, it's the same as like, you know, quote-unquote resting bitch face, you know? You're like, what are you thinking about? Nothing? Oh, it's just like you don't look happy. Well, this is my happy for Tommy Lee Jones, Man of the House, Cedric the Entertainer, 2005's greatest movie. I think it's the same, you know, if you're like somebody that's got a very like physically imposing physique, like if you're like 6'2", 220 pounds of pure muscle, People will assume that you might be the most gentle person on planet Earth. You might just like hitting the iron. But when people see you, you know, their first impression is likely to be a little bit of like, ooh. You know, what... Is this guy a gang member or a Hollywood actor, perhaps? Excuse me, sir. This is a very shrewd maneuver you did there. And I'm impressed. The same thing when you got the deep voice. People make assumptions about your demeanor. I think, at least. I mean, I'm a little bit biased because, you know, I have the deep voice. But, you know, let's not go to the freaking oubliette. We already have them. Oh, actually, let's go to the oubliette because we have 2 keys. Were it not for the 2 keys, I wouldn't have gone to the oubliette. But with 2 keys for sale, we can just go this way. It's even faster, actually. With 2 keys for sale, we can open this blue chest. I hate it. Is probably good, but I hate it. And then we can blow these up. And we do have mass shotgun, which is a really adequate boss killer. This is just the kind of item. I don't think the item is bad. But because of the fact that, you know, you're talking, playing simultaneously, probably also have to deal with stuff like Gungeon ruining it. I don't think that this is going to be worth much for us, but, you know, we can maybe charge up before each boss fight. I don't know how many times it stacks. What I do know... Whoops. What I do know is, never got to the point where it was one-hitting these guys, although we did miss a couple over the course of it. Those guys were already being one-hit. I don't know, man. It's just so, you know, if you can choose to focus on either the commentary or the active reload. I'm sorry, Clifford B, but, I think I know where my efforts best lie here. I gotta remember, you know, it's... YouTubers forget it sometimes, I forget it sometimes. This video exists for entertainment. My misery on these last few Daisuke runs might be entertaining. Oh, get him. But I don't want to just have it like... I don't want this to just be NL's complaint hour. I can do that in my off time. Oh, the noisy kids with their 4 a.m. music. Hey, why don't you consider their feelings, NL? So I'm incapable of being genuine about it, even in a satirical context. But still. Instead of losing and complaining, why don't we just win and praise? In the end, it is my performance which will dictate our ability to succeed or fail. Fail. Okay. Alright, okay, sure, yeah, you got me twice. Congratulations. Getting hit twice by a single enemy on an optional floor is, it hurts. It's like taking an extra credit assignment and then having it somehow bring down your grade. You're like, why did I do this? You ever hear the expression, no good deed goes unpunished? I'm not saying that applies here. I'm just saying it could. Careful. I got stuck on the wall, freaked out, and bounced. Any active reload I'm hitting, by the way, with very small exceptions, is an accident. There's almost like a Gungeon hierarchy of needs. And I'll tell you, the active reload is pretty low on the totem pole right now. I screwed it up on the last one, but that's fine. We were already... I mean, I thought we did very well there. Dude, I'm actually, like, scared of these challenge rooms. They seem like the most dangerous way for me to proceed here. Okay, maybe don't do that next time. You almost blew up the chest. Last bullet standing. Gorgon's gaze. I was not gazed by the Gorgon. Lucky me. You were hiding behind Mom's coat there. How'd you do that? He's done it. Missed one at the end there, but that's okay. In all likelihood, all we have to do to make it out of this situation... I mean, if we make it out of the oubliette, obviously there's no guarantee that, like, you know, life is gonna be but a dream. Oh, you son of a gun. Is that friendly fire as well? I thought I saw an arrow come back and that is friendly fire. You freaking jerks. Okay, you know what? That's how I live my life now. One mass shotgun blast at a time. Knowing that any shot that misses reflects back on me. Dude, to be honest, I feel like I need to go to the shop and buy some HP. I want you to know that, like, in my heart of hearts, I did not want to do this, but in my heart of hearts, I also don't want to die on the oubliette for this second death 22 minutes into a video. Although... Okay, literally just does not seem to work here. Or maybe it helps us get through it faster, I have no idea. The active time reload, that is. We gotta pay attention here. If getting that armor saves us from dying, and we can make a chance out of this run, so be it. You gotta pay the price if you want to get the reward. You know, I don't think we need to win for this to be the right choice, you know? That's like armchair NHL GM stuff. All we need to do is still be in the mix as a result of this pick. Now, we even picked up a key, so we don't, I mean, I'd still like to buy one, don't get me wrong. I'm ready. Please, God, I'm asking for good modifiers. Rat's Revenge is pretty terrible. Just because, you know, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. But anything that compromises our positioning to this degree is definitely going to be challenging, but... My problem has never been like, oh, it's hard. It's more when you just reach a situation where you're like, I'm not even sure if this is literally plausible. Everything's possible. You could just, you know, basically by luck, dodge everything correctly. Oh, that was bad. No, no, not like this. Oh my god, we're insanely lucky. Please just be dead, like... It took everything I had. Luckily, I do see HP up there. So we live... Oh, dude, Witch Pistol is okay, I think. We live to fight another day. We got an Amulet, which is also very, very good. And, you will not be able to sell me a key. It's too expensive. Oh my lord. Okay, well, at least on the next floor, we do expect it to be easier. And the oubliette might be the hardest floor for where we fight it in the game. The time has come. It's one of those phrases the internet has ruined. You can't say... Lucky. You can't say the time has come anymore. Any phrase with C-O-M-E in it in general has become a little bit more of a tricky linguistic puzzle to get across on the internet. It's one of those where you almost have to... I want to point out, by the way, I feel like 10% of the population is ruining it for everybody else. And the 10% of the population doesn't realize... Pot shots. Ah! The 10% of the population doesn't realize that by emulating Michael Scott, you are becoming Michael Scott. And although he is an affable character as the series progresses, Michael Scott was not well liked in the first few seasons by his employees, and for good reason, because he was kind of annoying. Like, desperate to be seen as funny, despite just doing, you know, impressions of other comedians. So that's... Whenever you say, like, you know, the time has come, you always gotta deal with whatever percent of the population is... You know they're like, ooh, the time has come, huh? And that 10% of the population, I've worked as hard as I can to sequester them in a virtual prison called the Northernlion Live Super Show, myself included. And I feel like it's the mark of a good show that, you know, Michael Scott makes "that's what she said" jokes, and then everybody at the office in the show cringes, as normal individuals would in that situation. But then people watch The Office and they're like, that's hilarious, and they start hitting you with the "that's what she said" jokes. You know, and they think it makes them a comedic god. More of that. Okay, I'm getting up my butt here. I'm not focusing my train of thought on Gungeon as well as I could. I want that synergy chest, obviously, but we got a ways to go. I really think the British version of The Office does a better job, as much as the American version is also very good. The British version is like more, I don't know, is more tragic. The character of David Brent is much more actually like troubling and dim. Depressing, maybe. Anyway, what am I talking about? I don't know, okay? I didn't sleep that well last night, and I'll continue to use that as an excuse as long as my play is a little bit below average. But I actually feel like this floor has been a lot better. Sure, why not? Amoconda, Poison Pursuit, Dark Was the Night. To be honest, well, okay. Both of these, I think, are pretty bad for where we're at. I would really like to be able to see. Poison Pursuit also requires us to constantly move and be very cautious about doubling back. And then he's got a lot of minions on this floor that I'd like to stay away from, but may or may not be possible, you know what I mean? I think this might be the end of this run. Like, I'm for real, I'm trying. I'm putting everything I got into this one. I think I'm going to take a little break from Daisuke runs, because I think that maybe I'm not cut out for them right now. And also, I think they don't hit at what makes Gungeon a strong game. Well, let's check in on the other challenges. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it more than I have. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!